Hey, third grade, Mrs. Selfridge here with my trusty tag-along Dolly. She's certainly, I'm going to nickname her helpful. So today we're going to move on and we're going to start comparing fractions. And this is only really one lesson, and then we'll have one more before we try to take a little fraction quiz. It won't be a test, but we'll take a quiz over fractions just so you can let Mrs. Selfridge see how you're doing. Today you're definitely going to need to get out your fraction strips if you have them. If you didn't print them the other day, they're on your McGraw-Hill Math site under Resources. If you need them, go ahead and pause the video and get them. Otherwise, we're going to turn to page 613 and 614. Actually, 613, and we're going to get started comparing fractions. So this is example 1. It says, Ajay has 3/6 of his homework done. Yuki finished 4/6 of hers. Who has finished a greater part of their homework? So one way they figured this out is they lined up the fraction tiles. They put the 6th here. You can see that Jay has 3/6 and Yuki has 4/6. In the model, when you line them up, the fraction strips up like that, it's pretty easy to see. The models show that 4/6 is larger than 3/6. So here's what I want to say here. We're going to show this and say that 4/6 is greater than 3/6. Don't forget what that means. This one means greater than. If it was facing the other way, it would mean less than. And don't forget, we're also going to use equal to. Okay. You can see who has the greater part of their homework finished. They used fraction tiles. Here's a whole 3/6, 4/6. Again, still Yuki has more of hers done. Okay, another way we can use a number line. We can represent each fraction on a number line. So when you look at the number line right here, you divide it into 6th. You can see that 3/6 is here, 4/6 is here, all on a number line. So 4/6 is closer to the 1 whole, so 4/6 is greater than 3/6. So we could say here, Yuki finished a greater part of her homework. Okay, go ahead and write that in. Now here's another example. Camille and Peter were reading a book. Camille read 1/4 of the book while Peter read 1/3 of the book, of the same book. Who read a greater part of the book? So we're going to want to, here, open that a little bit bigger, sorry, for you. Who read a greater part of the book? So what they did here is they compared fourths and thirds. So they got out their, if I got out my fraction strips, I'd get out my fourths, sorry, and I'd get out my thirds. And I'm going to line them up. And the question says, without looking at the question here, it says Camille and Peter were reading a book. Camille read 1/4, Peter read 1/3. Here is 1/4, here is 1/3, which is bigger. You can look on the number line, that'll help you too. It says the larger denominator of 4 means more, but it's usually in smaller parts. When I look at the fourths, they're definitely broken up into smaller parts. Okay, the smaller denominator of 3 means fewer but larger parts. Okay, that sometimes is a little tricky for everyone. Camille and Peter were reading a book. She read 1/4, Peter read 1/3. Who read the greater part? When you look at the parts, it's easy to see that 1/3, 3 means fewer, but it definitely has larger parts. So here's the same question in another example, comparing 1/4 and 1/3. 1/3 is closer to a whole on the number line. So 1/3 is greater than 1/4, or we'd put the 1/3 in there, greater than 1/4. So Peter read a greater part of the book. Go ahead and fill in your answers. Okay, use the models to compare. You can use greater than, less than, or equal to. So they're going to give you models for examples in your book. You may not always have a model, so this is where your strips are going to come in handy. They lined them up for you. When you look at this, is 1/3 greater than 2/3, or is 1/3 less than 2/3? You should easily be able to see that this is bigger. So what would you do here? You would write 1/3 is less than 2/3. Okay. Remember, the open part of the arrow always is looking at the bigger number. The smaller parts, the small point of the arrow, always pointing to the smaller number. Okay, keep on going. use the models to compare, use greater than, less than, or equal to. So when you're looking at the numbers right here, you're comparing these two, and you're going to compare these two. So 1/4, and you're comparing it to 1/6. Easy to see on the number line. 1/4 is definitely closer to the 1 whole, so 1/4 would be greater than 1/6. Go ahead and look at number 3. Find the dot on the number line, 7/8, 6/8. Easy to see that 7/8. Both of these should be greater than. Let's see if we're right. Oh, good. We did it right. All right, now use models to compare greater than, less than, or equal to. See if you can do this one. Okay. Take a second. Should be easy to see. Hopefully you did that right. Okay. All right, now use the number line for exercises 6 through 8. It says number 6, circle all the fractions on the number line that are greater than 5/8. So for me, I'm going to look right here, find 5/8, put a dot there. Well, that one's bigger, that one's bigger, right? So I'm going to circle those, and then I'm going to draw a box around all of the fractions on the number line that are less than 3/8. So I'm going to find 3/8 here, box this, box this. Let's see if we did it right. We did. Okay, that's all you have to do for that. You just have to read the questions correctly and answer each question one at a time. Okay, use the number line for exercises 6 through 8. Write the fraction from the number line that is greater than 3/8 but less than 5/8. For me, I just come over here, I look at 3/8, something bigger than and less than this. It's the only one answer choice you could do right there, 4/8. Okay, number 9. Alistair makes a party mix with 1/3 cup of raisins and 2/3 cup of cereal. Are there more raisins or cereal? Explain. This is where you might want to line up your fraction strips and figure it out on your own if you need to. But you shouldn't need to on this one because you have the same denominator. So the size of the wholes are the same, but 2 parts of cereal is greater than 1. So you're looking at that numerator on top. Okay, Debbie realized that more than 4/8 of her summer vacation has passed. Circle the fraction that's greater than 4/8, then write another fraction that's greater than 4/8. So all of these have the same denominator, so really all I have to do is look at that numerator 4 and find a bigger number, which would be only that one, right? What's another number you could add there? 5/8, then we could keep going with 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, okay? All right, justify conclusions. Is 1/4 of the smaller waffle equal to 1/4 of the larger waffle? I don't think so, okay? Sizes of the whole waffles are different. I would rather have 1/4 of this waffle. I don't know about the rest of you. Okay? If you're comparing the fractions 4/8 and 3/8, how can you tell which fraction is greater without using models? Well, just again, like I said, your denominators are the same. So you can look at your numerators to get the answer, and here's your answer. Basically, you need to write when the denominators are the same, the larger numerator means more parts in a greater fraction. Okay, and how can fractions be compared? It's long, I know. Pause the video here and write it, but number lines, models, fraction tiles can be used to represent the number of each part. You can also use what you know about denominators and numerators too. Okay, pause the video. All right, that takes you to your homework for today, guys. Hopefully it's easy. I think they give you most of the models on here. There may be a little bit of time where you need to use your fraction strips, but just do your best. Mrs. Selfridge will send you the answers tomorrow. You guys are doing a great job. Let's plan on having a little fraction quiz on Thursday, just to see where we're at, and then we'll move on to measurement in Chapter 9. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. I miss you. Bye.